When China was barred from joining the International Space Station program, the world expected it to fall behind in human spaceflight. Instead, China quietly built something extraordinary, its own orbiting fortress called Tiangong, or Heavenly Palace. At first, it drew little attention. Few outside of China knew what life was really like up there, how astronauts lived, worked, or even slept inside a space station built entirely with Chinese technology. But that veil of secrecy is finally lifting. Now, with the International Space Station nearing retirement, Tiangong stands as the only continuously expanding space station in orbit, sleek, modern, and engineered with precision that even NASA and SpaceX engineers are paying attention to. Inside, every corner reflects China's ambition. Wireless systems instead of tangled cables, spacious labs replacing cramped modules, and even a microwave, yes, a real space microwave, turning mealtime from survival into comfort. It's more than just a laboratory in orbit. Tiangong is a symbol of a nation's determination to master space on its own terms, and to prove that innovation doesn't only come from Silicon Valley or Houston. So what exactly makes life aboard Tiangong so advanced? And could it really be better than the ISS? You're about to find out right here on Space Update 24 Hours. Let's dive right in. After years of being cut off from international collaboration, China turned exclusion into motivation, and Tiangong became its boldest statement yet. What started as a quiet project has now evolved into one of the most sophisticated space habitats ever built. Compact, efficient, and unmistakably modern. Unlike the International Space Station, which took over a decade and dozens of missions to assemble, Tiangong came together in just 18 months. The reason? Automation and precision engineering. Every major module, from the Tianhe core module to the Wentian and Mengtian laboratories, was pre-assembled on Earth, tested down to the smallest screw, and then launched into orbit, ready to dock itself. No astronauts fumbling with bolts in the cold vacuum, no endless wiring tasks. Each piece simply snapped into place like a well-designed machine. That difference in design philosophy reshaped everything about how humans live in orbit. The ISS feels like an old, cluttered workshop. Narrow corridors, tangled wires, and exposed cables everywhere. Tiangong, on the other hand, feels like the inside of a next-generation spacecraft. Sleek, bright, and open. Its white panels hide most of the hardware. Systems communicate wirelessly. Even the air filters and water recyclers are built into the walls to save space. It's not just a lab, it's a statement of efficiency. The modular layout plays a big part in that. Each of Tiangong's lab modules stretches nearly 18 meters long, more than double the length of some ISS segments, giving astronauts freedom to move, experiment, and rest without feeling confined. Every inch serves a purpose. Labs, storage bays, airlocks, and exercise areas blend seamlessly together. Inside, life for the taikonauts, China's astronauts, is surprisingly comfortable. Their private sleeping quarters are larger than anything aboard the ISS. Each astronaut has a personal bunk the size of a small bed, with a reading light, a window to Earth, and space for photos or personal belongings. It's not luxury, but it's human. This focus on mental well-being marks a subtle but powerful shift in space design philosophy. China understands that long-term missions require more than strong rockets. They require strong minds. Food is another area where Tiangong quietly outpaces its Western counterparts. On the ISS, astronauts rehydrate frozen pouches and wait nearly half an hour for meals to warm up. On Tiangong, the crew uses a fully functional space microwave, the first of its kind, developed over a decade by Chinese engineers to operate safely in microgravity. That single innovation cut mealtime prep down to just 7 minutes. And the menu? It's not bland space paste or dehydrated soup. The taikonauts enjoy a rotation of more than 120 traditional dishes, from kung pao chicken to pickled cabbage with pork. Meals are carefully designed to be bite-sized and boneless, easy to eat in zero gravity, yet flavorful enough to keep appetites strong. There are even condiments. Yes, Sichuan pepper sauce made it to orbit. It's one of those small but deeply human touches that make Tiangong feel less like a machine and more like a home. Day-to-day life aboard the station runs on Beijing time. The crew wakes at 8 a.m., runs through maintenance and system checks in the morning, then spends the afternoon conducting scientific research. But this isn't just routine data collection. Tiangong's experiments are designed to explore how humans, plants, and materials behave under prolonged microgravity, a critical foundation for China's long-term space ambitions. By late 2024, the station had already completed over 180 research projects, from studying human metabolism to growing crops in orbit. These experiments aren't for show. They're building the roadmap for future lunar bases and, eventually, crewed Mars missions. And China isn't slowing down. Over the next 15 years, Tiangong is scheduled to host more than 1,000 new experiments, including joint projects with international partners who now see the Chinese station as the next global science hub once the ISS retires. Still, life in space demands discipline. Each evening, around 6 p.m., the crew gathers for dinner, often with fresh fruits like apples and lettuce grown on board, before watching Xinwen Lianbo, the daily Chinese news broadcast uplinked from Earth. This ritual keeps them emotionally connected, a reminder that even while floating 400 kilometers above the planet, they are still part of the same world they left behind. Then comes exercise. Every astronaut trains for at least 2 hours daily on specialized equipment, a treadmill with harnesses, a cycling machine, and resistance devices designed to counter muscle loss. Each workout is tracked and adjusted based on biometric data sent back to mission control. These routines aren't just for fitness, they're survival. Without them, prolonged weightlessness would literally weaken the human body beyond repair. But perhaps the most striking feature of Tiangong lies outside its walls. The station's robotic arm system, 2 arms 10 and 5 meters long, can link together to form a single 15-meter structure, powerful enough to move entire modules or assist astronauts during spacewalks. This mechanical dragon, as some engineers call it, rivals even the famed Canadarm2 on the ISS. During extravehicular missions, it stabilizes taikonauts, positions equipment, and even performs complex maintenance autonomously. Every few months, the crew dons their white Fishian EVA suits, lightweight yet robust, and steps out into the void to install new instruments, inspect solar panels, or reinforce debris shields. These spacewalks last several hours and are broadcast nationwide, turning the taikonauts into living symbols of China's technological confidence. Yet for all its sophistication, Tiangong is far from complete. China's engineers are already drafting the next evolution, transforming the current T-shaped structure into a cross-shaped megastation capable of supporting more astronauts, more laboratories, and larger external experiments. Upgrades to the Tianhe core module will allow it to dock with additional segments, expanding both living space and research capacity. And then there's Menghua, a new generation spacecraft under development, designed to ferry astronauts not just to Tiangong, but also to the moon. 2 versions are planned, one for lunar missions carrying 3 crew members, and one for Earth orbit capable of transporting up to 7. This next phase represents a clear message. Tiangong isn't the end of China's space dream. It's the beginning of a permanent presence beyond Earth. Step by step, China has proven that innovation doesn't require global partnerships or decades of legacy infrastructure. Sometimes it takes a single-minded vision to build a heavenly palace not for prestige, but for persistence. Every module, every experiment, every meal shared among taikonauts tells the same story. China is not just participating in the new space race, it's reshaping what living in space means, turning isolation into innovation and ambition into reality. Tiangong stands as both a technological achievement and a human one, a sign that the future of space will no longer be defined by one nation, but by whoever dares to dream and build higher. In the end, Tiangong isn't just China's space station. It's a quiet revolution orbiting 400 kilometers above our heads. Every system, every experiment, every meal prepared in microgravity reflects one clear message. China is no longer following the roadmap. It's drawing its own. From rapid construction to its futuristic living design, Tiangong represents the rise of a new era in human spaceflight, one where comfort, efficiency, and ambition coexist in ways we've never seen before. It's not about competition anymore. It's about vision, about proving that the dream of living and working in space can belong to everyone who dares to build it. As the International Space Station approaches the end of its journey, Tiangong's lights will keep shining, a symbol of what persistence and innovation can achieve when the world stops watching and one nation decides to push forward anyway. So what do you think? Could Tiangong truly redefine the future of human life in orbit? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Space Update 24 Hours for more real stories from beyond our planet. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss what's coming next from the edge of space.